Awesome, awesome. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to start the call off this morning and get right into this because I have another meeting that is pre-scheduled. So wanted to say good morning. We've talked a little bit about this new associate interview and how does that fit into the process. It's something that we talked about last week as we talked about the flow chart. It's also lines up in our prospecting in our Fresh Start page. So this is, after somebody decides to get started, and also if somebody has an interest in the business. There's two parts to this. So I just want to walk you through the form a little bit and then walk you through the application. The other thing I want you to know is that Heidi and I are going to really try to keep this to 30 minutes today. We really want to be effective and efficient, but also, very productive. So this new associate checklist, you can easily find it by Googling. That's the fastest way to find it. Isagenix new associate checklist. It'll pop right up with the latest version. This first page and a half is actually for your records. This is not something, these first two pages, those first two pages are your checklist. So it could be used for you to track your communications. Have I done all the steps? Now, we track our steps on our own tracking page, but this is a nice backup and it's completely aligned. So you don't have to feel like, gosh, I'm doing two different things. You're doing the same thing. As Heidi said the last couple of weeks, there's lots of the same thing in multiple places. That's what you're going to see here. So it talks about the welcome emails. It talks about a welcome call. That's the orientation call. These are all the same things, but if you want a place that you can keep it tracked and you're not using the other tracking sheets, this is a place to do it by each individual. As you scroll down, it also makes sure that you've got everybody tied in. In our sheets, we say, make sure that they're in Real People, Real Results, make sure they're in Fresh Start, make sure they're in Success. But, make sure they're attached to the isadreamteam.com. Make sure you've got them in your chat groups. It's all to reinforce that these are key steps to keeping people connected. So that's that piece. So if you scroll down to the next page, Heidi, that's great. This is the health goals. Now, this is something you're going to do with everybody, and it's so simple. And you look at it and you may say, I already know this stuff about these people. But I promise you that you will find that you will get something out of asking these questions that you have not gotten in previous conversations. It's happened to me every time, even people that I've known for a long time. So I'm just throwing that out there as that's really the purpose here, is to make sure that we really do understand what they're doing. So I also email this, and everybody on my team does that. We email this to the person so they can look at this ahead of time. They're looking at it with you. They don't feel like you're asking made up questions, right? This is just what we go through with everyone. So, what are your health goals with Isagenix? Now, here's what's really exciting about this, right? The last piece before other is decreased financial stress. It gives you a place to just throw that out there. So you're starting to, again, lay the groundwork for someone who's currently thinking they're only a product user. They're a 1, not a 2 or a 3, but it puts that back in their mind, okay? And this is more than just our, 4 solution areas, right? We've got more energy, healthy aging, but we've got enhanced mental clarity in here, right? Eliminating bad habits, improving lifestyle, decreasing emotional stress. So it lets them talk about more. Why do you want to achieve these goals? Now they might open up to something a little more personal. And then it introduces both IsaBody and Healthy Mind and Body. Again, giving you a chance to plant those seeds. They may not do it right that minute, but now they know. Who is on your support team? This is huge, right? Because they may not be thinking you plus 2, but we want to make sure they're not surrounded by a bunch of naysayers. And you're going to start to understand their network a little bit. So this is a really huge piece. Who's there to support them? Is there anybody that you want to join you on your journey? Other than either in your support team or the next person, is there somebody you can think of right now that if they decided to do this with you, that you would feel like you could conquer this? So again, right, it's leading all up to the last one. It's my responsibility to show you how you can earn money for just sharing Isagenix products. I use the word rebate. These are really referral rebates. Who do you know? But I want to just show it to you. And you use the little U+2 1-minute video with Eric Hoover. Super simple, super simple. That's it. That's the whole interview. Mm-hmm. they know that you're doing something very professional. You're asking them things that are really important to them, right? And then you have more data. All right, so that's part one, and that's something that you do either before their box arrives, which is when I typically try to do it, because when the box arrives, you got too many other things to cover. If the box comes too fast, this is something you want to definitely cover while you're going through their goals there. All right, so does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Okay. All right, so part two. This is wealth goals. Now, there are two different times you might use this. One is when you've got the person who's coming in to start the business. You want to do their health goals and their wealth goals, right? Now that the health goals take, I don't know, 15 minutes. This one's going to take a little longer, right? This is, I would plan, 45 minutes because people want to talk a little bit more about this. It's the other time you're going to use this is as you have people realizing that, wow, they feel different, they feel great. Oh my gosh, maybe I do want to share. What is it that you want to, what is it that you do? They're starting to ask more. Maybe they've come to one of your launch parties, or one of the events. Maybe they've been on like the virtual party we've got coming up. They've started to see a little bit more, and now they're asking you more questions. So this is a great piece because it talks to them about things like, what is your commitment level, right? What attracted you to network marketing? They may not even know it's network marketing. They may just think, I'm buying stuff online. Do you know anyone who lives in or is from one of the international markets? So again, you're just tapping into questions. They have this in front of them. So if you're going to work out a business plan with someone, don't we want to ask those great questions? Right? We want to ask questions that are more than just, oh gosh, I'm really excited that you might want to do this with me. All right. This is 2 pages, and I'm not going to read through every one of these. But I really encourage you to go through this. Maybe go through it for yourself. Answer these questions yourself just to find out, gosh, I'm not even thinking about, what is it that could help? All right. Is that noise coming from me, Heidi?
You know what? I'm just scrolling through everybody, and I think it's gone now. I just muted a new person.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. As you go through the second page, you'll see things in there is like communication is vital. What day and time can we set as a call this week? Again, you're establishing, great habits. You're starting to connect them into what we do. Attendance is a huge part of success in the industry. What's the next event you plan to attend? Even if they don't have the answer, it's something you can go back to and continue to work on with them. So I have one of these and filed for each person that I'm working with, and I can go back and figure out where we are. Hey, we talked about healthy mind and body. Did you do that? This creates unbelievable opportunities for follow-up. Mm-hmm. Even if you have somebody who says they want to start the business, they're excited, and they do nothing, right? We've had that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a great follow-up piece. Hey, remember when we talked about this? Let's just go through some of those things we talked about and just see where you are. I know you had a lot to think about. So again, just a great way to keep connected and help people stay, engaged. So I hope that helps, but what I really want to do is I want to give you, sorry about that. The last piece is the commitment form. Sorry, going so fast. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? I commit to doing, compiling a list of 10 people. I commit to pursuing further. I commit. People are going to think about this. I commit to develop and follow my 90-day game plan. And you'll find out people's levels of commitment. Mm-hmm. That part between 2 and a 3 will become really obvious. Either one is okay, but you'll know where they are, and you can tell them that. You can say, hey, look, that's great. You're not sure you're fully committed in that part. We'll work that out later.
And guys, just really, Marianne, just wanted to reiterate, when Marianne's referencing 2 and a 3, that means, when we ask someone in the orientation call, are you a 1, simply interested in using the products? That's about what 82 to 85% of our organization does. They just enjoy and benefit from our wholesale food. Are you a 2? And 2 means, you might consider participating in our Elegant Referral Program. And you can think of a few family and friends that want to upgrade their nutrition and save money on groceries. Or 3, you're interested or, at least intrigued by the income opportunity behind this nutritional technology. So I just wanted to clarify that because I, like you, always.
I know. I'm just like, it's 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. And then your checklist here, is really going back to who we want everybody to be. Lead by example. This is really the first thing we all have to do is be a product of the product, right? This talks about going to isogenicsbusiness.com. We may want to guide them to the isodreamteam.com. Mm-hmm. Again, just because there's only one thing on here doesn't mean that it's not flexible and that it's not, as Heidi always says, something that we can customize, right? We need to customize this to create simplicity. We can't tell people, go to Real People, Real Success, go to the isodreamteam.com, go to Isogenics Business. I mean, they're done. Okay, if we tell them to do that, they're done. I just promise you that's what's going to happen. So we have to kind of walk through them, partner with them, but guide them through this piece that, we know is successful. So I'll be right there. I'm leaving.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm going to call. Sorry, I kind of stole the conference room here.
I love it.
I did. Okay, so with that in mind, what I really want to do is I want you all to hear from Mariko Sakai. For those of you who don't know Mariko, she's a Crystal executive. She lives in Northern Virginia. And Mariko, you're on the phone, right?
Oh, Mariko, you're going to probably have to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Or I can come look for you.
The 703 number.
Oh, yeah, I saw her. Okay, hold on.
980-1991. Yeah, she's muted. Anyway, while we're doing that, I just want you to know that Mariko really made a commitment to changing a few things in her business last fall. And part of it was being really committed to the new associate startup process that I shared with you all last week, but also integrating.
Hello, I mean, hey, sorry about that. No. Sorry to interrupt. Can you hear me?
I can. Somebody else unmuted, and we've got another background. Are you there, Mariko?
Yes, I'm here. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So, Mariko, I've given everybody a little bit of your background. I'd love for you just to talk a little bit about, what this has meant for your business, how it's worked, with the people, because I think you've done it with most everyone, but you can clarify that. And when you do that, just so everybody else knows, I'm going to probably jump off here while you're talking, Heidi. So then after Mariko, we're going to turn it over to you, if that's okay.
Absolutely. And Marianne, thank you so much for, working this in the midst of having other obligations. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I'd rather be here.
I get it.
Okay, cool. All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you. Okay. Hello. So, well, thank you for the introduction, Marianne and Heidi. This is Mariko. And then I'm going to share with you how I decided to start New Associate Interview, and then I'm not going to stop doing this. So I began using New Associate Interview since October of 2015. So it's been about a year now. And when I began, so this was a time when I began sponsoring people I have not met in person.
Mm.
So many of them are the people that I met on Facebook, or the people that were referred to me by someone else, meaning these are the people that I hardly knew. And I really felt that need to get to know the person better that I just sponsored. So, but prior to using a New Associate Interview as a rule, I was frustrated that even the people that I knew well, like the mom friend or the neighbors or, whatever, right? The information I was sharing with them was not consistent. Mm-hmm. And most of all, the amount of understanding I had about their goals was inconsistent. And I noticed that the people go through similar roadblocks, like as they go through the month 1, month 2 of, using Isogenics. And I just kind of felt kind of frustrated. Like I just see the pattern here. but I'm not really, improving the way to kind of get them through the same thing that I keep seeing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So in October 2015, I have conducted new associate interview with every single one of the people that I sponsored. The PC or associate alike, I make no exception. And every single person that I invited to do this accepted, and then I conducted it. And except for one person who has been very unresponsive, and I just couldn't do it. But together with a few tweaks into my retention system, which starts with conducting new associate interview, I improved my retention significantly. And then so that shows up in my cycles, and my cycles went up like 2 to 3 times compared to the before I was not using new associate interview, and then now, after I started using it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out like some specific benefits of doing a new associate interview. So the first one is that the list of items to cover in health goals works as a checklist for you as a sponsor to make sure that the new member at least have heard of the key information like the Ice Body Challenge, Healthy Mind and Body Program, and U+2, Dem+2. So these are the information that, there is no option like, oh, I'm not interested in Ice Body. I'm not interested in, there is no such thing like, that the person is not interested or want to hear it or not. We go through this just by reading the bullet point number 1, bullet point number 2, and then it just kind of reading it, it covers everything that they need to hear. So I don't have to think about, did I cover this or did I forget this or, things like that. I don't have to think about it. The next point is that you get to know the person's goals. And then, so Marianne was sharing a little bit about this earlier that, so for example, that the person wants to lose weight. But what about other things? Like, maybe the person's also interested in sleeping better, or they have a mental clarity, like a better mental clarity. But you don't know unless you ask.
Mm-hmm.
So this question just kind of not force you, but just kind of reading the questions, you ask those questions. What about energy? What about, and then I end up with the person like who, like just check everything, yes to everything. And I just never knew that the person was interested in, like losing weight or better energy. I have no idea. So I also use those like a latter half of the questions, like improve lifestyle, improve, the eliminate bad habits, those areas that I ask, okay, so if you want to eliminate bad habits, what are the top, 1 or 2 bad habits that comes to your mind? I kind of use that as a question to get to know if the person says yes to those things. Again, just to really get to know the person better and then their goals better, and then what kind of life they're having currently. So and the last question is that the financial stress. And that question used to be like, that particular question changed the wording maybe 2 or 3 times over the last year. And then so when people check that, say, yes, I'm interested, then I set a separate appointment to go through the business or the wealth section, which takes a lot longer. And then so again, this kind of forces you to not miss asking that question. And what's really funny is that I have quite a few people who have said, no, I'm not interested in this, but they have a great health result and then start referring. So, which is really fun. I just kind of go back and then look and then say, well, this person said no. And I remember like, who said no, who said yes. And it's just really funny that, when the results come, when the health results come, they just start doing it. Okay. So that was the second point. that to really understand their goals, which is really the hugest thing. So when people are going through, the program, I mean, things happen, their life gets in the way, and, they forget about their goals, So when I have these, things, and I take notes when I am, I just listen, ask the question and listen to the answers, and I take notes. So it is just such a great tool as a coach, be able to go back and, when the person's clearly forgetting the goals, right? And then say, hey, did you say that you want to do something to improve your health? Or, did you say that you wanted to lose 60 pounds? I can just kind of, use that information and then kind of bring the person back to where we started. And then they're like, yeah, you're right. And then so it really helps kind of reminding them that, you know what, let's keep going, so what do you want to do next month? How do you want to tweak next month? Like we just kind of keep going, just going back to the original goal and then help them guide that way. So, so that was like the kind of a blended, third benefit, that I can use that information, not only that I can get to know the person's goal, but for the long term, that the fact that I know why they wanted to achieve those goals, I can always go back and encourage them, help them meet the goals, because believe me, everyone's going to be distracted and then fall off. But you have this information to go back and then, just keep them going. So those are the benefits.
Mariko,
so again, just go ahead.
do you email this document to your new associate and go through it with them so they have this in front of them?
I do it. Yes, I do. I send it to them in advance, or maybe just before something, and then say, hey, we're gonna just use this page 3 of this, document, and then, in case it helps you kind of look at it. I also, in the same email, I attached the link of U+ Then Plus the video, which is just over 2 minutes.
Sure.
And then say that, hey, if you have a chance, watch this 2 minutes video. If you have no time, no biggie. I will go through it when we talk. So, some people watch that, so that when we talk, and then when I say, oh, okay, so did you have a chance to watch the U+ 2 plus 2 video? And then if they said yes, then I say, okay, what questions do you have? So, we can kind of set the time, or, use the time to answer the questions to, deepen their understanding and so forth. So that's how so I always send the email with the link and
Gotcha.
the U+ Then Plus the video. Yeah.
And that's in here. Like they have an actual link on the document to go there. So I love that.
Right.
Okay, well, awesome. I love this. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to show you where you can find this video. And I'm going to stay on a little bit for questions, because I want to talk about a couple things that I think is pertinent. One is the orientation call and how it aligns with this. So thank you, Mariko, so much. And I'm going to stop the recording.